morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, my friends. God's blessings upon you. Let's praise the Lord together, my friends. We have all awakened in God's shelter. Now we've come to praise His name together. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good
My friend.
my friend.
Sing Hosanna.
Hosanna.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Allahu Akbar, Yahweh, Hallelujah. In the sanctuary of our Lord's protection and the stronghold of our Lord's defense. With His love our spirits are illumined. As we glorify His name, our hearts are blessed. Good morning.
Good
Good morning.
morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, my friend.
My friend.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning,
Good morning.
my friend.
My friend.
Good morning, everyone. Hello, everyone in the Facebook land. Well, first of all, I want to say hello to Andy Murphy. Andy's been gone for a few weeks. He's been traveling, he said, visiting family, which it's great that he prioritizes family. I, however, don't understand why he couldn't hook a trailer up to his car or truck and make sure he took all of his gear with him so he could join us. We're so glad you're here, Andy. How you doing today?
I'm doing fine.
You're doing good. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And Jeremiah, hope Jeremiah's doing well. He's there in the clouds. If you could see his Zoom icon, you'd understand. How you doing today, Daryl?
Good.
You doing great?
Good. How about you?
I'm feeling okay. I'm doing good. I could talk about my hip. I could talk about my back. I could talk about my knee. But I'm not going to do any of those.
Too late.
And good morning, everyone in Facebook land right now. I see Pamela Payne is with us, the lovely Pamela Payne.
Hi,
How you
Pam.
doing, Pamela? Gifted dancer extraordinaire.
Yes.
We're so glad you're joining us. Unfortunately, Nini is not with us today. The lovely and talented Nini Haas, elsewhere working hard. And but we're glad everyone is here on this lovely, lovely March day. And as always, let's start with a prayer. And let me make sure I put this bookmark because, as you now know, I like to share a little bit from the writings before we get into J.E. Esselmont. So let me put that there. I'm laughing because I now know that I took the the bookmark that I had used to mark the prayer that I had planned to read, and I marked the passage in the other book. So I had planned on. That's not it. That's not it. And it's a beautiful prayer, and I'll just go ahead and go to my go to one of my old standbys that is a beautiful prayer from Baha'u'llah. Lauded be thy name, O Lord my God. I entreat thee by thy name through which the hour hath struck, and the resurrection came to pass, and fear and trembling seized all that are in heaven and all that are on earth, to rain down out of the heavens of thy mercy and the clouds of thy tender compassion what will gladden the hearts of thy servants who have turned towards thee and helped thy cause. Keep safe thy servants and thy handmaidens, O my Lord, from the darts of idle fancy and vain imaginings, and give them from the hands of thy grace a draught of the soft flowing waters of thy knowledge. Thou truly art the Almighty, the most exalted, the ever forgiving, the most generous. And again, this is a prayer from Baha'u'llah. And, it's, as pointed out, that wasn't the prayer I'd planned to read today. It wasn't. And yet, maybe it's a little more appropriate, or at least relevant to what I had planned as far as just this brief passage from Baha'u'llah about helping the cause of God. O friends, help ye the one true God, exalted be his glory, by your goodly deeds, by such conduct and character as shall be acceptable in his sight. He that seeketh to be a helper of God in this day, let him close his eyes to whatever he may possess and open them to the things of God. Let him cease to occupy himself with that which profiteth him, and concern himself with that which shall exalt the all-compelling name of the Almighty. He should cleanse his heart from all evil passions and corrupt desires, for the fear of God is the weapon that can render him victorious, the primary instrument whereby he can achieve his purpose. The fear of God is the shield that defendeth his cause, the buckler that enableth his people to attain to victory. And again, that is from Gleanings from the writings of Baha'u'llah. Good morning, Dil. Good morning, Hushong. Now, as you know, good morning. It's good that we're glad you joined us. You're joining us. As you know, we are still in the book Baha'u'llah and the New Era. And as Daryl and I were discussing just a few minutes ago, we're about 1/3 of the way through this book. So we're moving on at a pretty good clip. And for anyone who wonders where you can get this content, you can certainly order the book online if you choose, but you can get the content for free. You'd have to, download it yourself, but you can get it for free by going to Baha'i.org.
Baha'i.org.
Yes, by going to Baha'i.org.
The library.
Yes. And so, Daryl, what are we starting with today?
We are starting with truthfulness and honesty.
Truthfulness and honesty. And that's still in chapter, what is that? Still in chapter 5?
5, I believe.
Okay, yeah, chapter 5, starting with truthfulness and honesty.
The heading for chapter 5 is what is a Baha'i?
Yes.
So these are attributes that are expected of Baha'is. Mm-hmm. And truthfulness and honesty is just one section of it. Baha'u'llah says in the tablet of Tarzat, verily honesty is the door of tranquility to all in the world, and the sign of glory from the presence of the Merciful One. Whosoever attains thereto has attained to the treasures of wealth and affluence. Honesty is the greatest door to the security and tranquility of mankind. The stability of every affair always depends on it, and the worlds of honor, glory, and affluence are illumined by its light. Excuse me.
I didn't get you a glass of water, did I?
That's okay. O people of Baha, honesty is the best garment for your temples, and the most splendid crown for your heads. Adhere thereto by the command of the omnipotent commander. Again, he says, the principle of faith is to lessen words and to increase deeds. He whose words exceed his acts, know verily that his non-being is better than his being.
What was that about words, deeds and words?
He whose words exceed his acts.
The line before that. Something about the principle of faith or something like that.
O people of Baha'i, honesty is the best garment for your temples, and the most splendid crown for your heads. Adhere thereto by the command of the omnipotent commander. Okay, again he says, the principle of faith is to lessen words and to increase deeds.
With that, I'm shutting up. I'm going to go
He's,
get you something to drink.
he whose words exceed his acts, know verily that his non-being is better than his being. His death is better than his life. Abdu'l-Baha says, truthfulness is the foundation of all the virtues of mankind. Without truthfulness, progress and success in all the worlds are impossible for a soul. When this holy attribute is established in man, all the other divine qualities will also become realized. Truthfulness. When this holy attribute is established in man, all the other divine qualities will also become realized. Let the light of truth and honesty shine from your faces so that all may know that your word in business or pleasure is a word to trust and to be sure of. Forget self and work for the whole. Message to London from the Baha'is, October. Self-realization. Baha'u'llah constantly urges men to realize and give full expression to the perfections latent within them. The true inner self, as distinguished from the limited outer self, which is at best but the temple, and too often is the prison, which at best is but the temple, and too often is the prison of the real man. In the hidden words he says, O son of being, with the hands of power I have made thee, and with the fingers of strength I created thee, and within thee I have placed the essence of my light. Be thou content with it, and seek naught else, for my work is perfect, and my command is binding. Question it not, nor have doubt thereof. O son of spirit, I created thee rich. Why dost thou bring thyself down to poverty? Noble I made thee. Wherewith dost thou abase thyself? Out of the essence of knowledge I gave thee being. Why seekest thou enlightenment from any one beside me? Out of the clay of love I molded thee. How dost thou busy thyself with another? Turn thy sight unto thyself, that thou mayest find me standing within thee, mighty, powerful, and self-subsisting.
These excerpts or these passages from the hidden words, they're all just so beautiful. I can't listen to you read them without thinking about just how they affected me the first time I read them. Because it was, oh my goodness, let's face it, the wording, the verbiage is absolutely beautiful, but the depth of meaning, it's so short and yet so powerful, so profound. Good morning, Kim. Kim just joined us.
O my servant, thou art even as a finely tempered and sword concealed in the darkness of its sheath, and its value hidden from the artificer's knowledge. Wherefore come forth from the sheath of self and desire, that thy worth may be made resplendent and manifest unto all the world. O my friend, thou art the day star of the heavens of my holiness. Let not the defilement of the world eclipse thy splendor. Rend asunder the veil of heedlessness, that from behind the clouds thou mayest emerge resplendent and array all things with the apparel of life. The life to which Baha'u'llah calls his followers is surely one of such nobility that in all the vast range of human possibility, there is nothing more lofty or beautiful to which man could aspire. Realization of the spiritual self in ourselves means realization of the sublime truth that we are from God, and to him shall we return. Realization of the spiritual self in ourselves means realization of the sublime truth that we are from God, and to him shall we return. This return to God is the glorious goal of the Baha'i. But to attain this goal the only path is that of obedience. I'm going to go back up. This return to God is the glorious goal of the Baha'i. But to attain this goal, the only path is that of obedience to his chosen messengers, and especially to his messenger from the time in which we live, Baha'u'llah, the prophet of the new era.
Baha'u'llah, the prophet of the new era. While you were reading, because they had those passages from the hidden words, I just thought I'd go and get a visual aid.
Okay.
I have here 2 copies of the hidden word. And the hidden word actually, you know, if it were, let's say, number 12 Times New Roman font and no fancy, printing or anything, it's a very small book, or can be a very small book. Now, this is a copy of the hidden words, okay? Kind of thick, but the font in here is, I'll show you, Daryl, quite large. Well, it's not that large, but they have only one verse on each page. Very, kind of ornate writing. But this is also the hidden word. Okay, this is also the hidden words. And, and you'll find different copies of them. This is, as you can see, it's much shorter and so forth, a much thinner book. But the size of the book does not speak to the power of the verses. And for any seeker out there, I recommend that you find online or somewhere, you can get it again through Baha'i.org, a copy of the hidden words. If you were to sit and start to read this book, how long do you think it would take from cover to cover for the average person reading?
To read the whole thing?
Yeah, cover to cover.
A day? 2 days?
No. I don't mean digest. Digesting is a lifetime. But I mean just reading it straight from cover to cover. Just reading it straight from cover to cover.
I don't know.
I think maybe an hour. I don't know. Anyone want to weigh in on this in Zoom? Maybe an hour, maybe an hour and a half. But it will take you much longer because so many of these verses in here, you have to stop. Now when I'm talking about reading, I'm not talking about digesting. I'm just talking about reading, you think about it. I'm just going to pick one verse. One of my favorite verses I just happened to get there by, O children of men, and this was a longer one. This is one of the longer ones. O children of men, know ye not why we created you all from the same dust, that no one should exalt himself over the other. In fact, that's in that song that we're going to sing. Know ye not why, that no one should exalt himself over the other. Ponder at all times in your hearts how you were created. Since we have created you all from one same substance, it is incumbent on you to be even as one soul, to walk with the same feet, eat with the same mouth, and dwell in the same land, that from your inmost being, by your deeds and actions, the signs of oneness and the essence of detachment may be made manifest. Such is my counsel to you, O concourse of light. Heed ye this counsel. that ye may obtain the fruit of holiness from the tree of wondrous glory. I don't know, would that take maybe 45 seconds, a minute, something like that?
Yeah, a minute.
And reading it silently would take even less time, I think, for the average person. It's just this is a quick read. I'm saying. I guess I should remember. Let your deeds be, let your words be less than your deeds. This is such a quick but such a powerful read, and I just recommend anyone that can get their hands on it. Please do. Let me say hello to my cousin John. Hey, John, in Facebook land.
Let me put something in perspective
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
This, even though it's a very small book, I had a study group at one point in time.
No, that's okay.
that-
Yeah. Okay.
Where we studied the hidden words, and it took over a year for us to get through this small book because there's so much that is profound
Yes.
within it.
Yes.
That-
I'm just talking about not discussing, just reading, cover to cover, no time, but reading and digesting and considering
just-
and allowing it to really. Yeah. It took you how long? Over a year?
Just over a year.
Yeah, yeah. But for someone who again might be first exploring the Baha'i faith, this is one small but very, very, very powerful book.
yes.
Yes, it just is. So anyway, I've taken too much time talking about that. It's just that when I saw that they had those passages from the hidden words, it hit me kind of hard.
We're on to the next chapter, chapter 6.
So what's keeping
Chapter
you?
6 is all about prayer. Prayer is a ladder by which everyone may ascend to heaven. That's from Muhammad. I'm going to say it again. Prayer is a ladder by which everyone may ascend to heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Conversation with God is the first section in this. Prayer, says Abdul Baha, is conversation with God. In order that God may make known his mind and will to men, he must speak to them in a language which they can understand. And this he does by the mouths of his holy prophets. While these prophets are alive and in the body, they speak with men face to face and convey to them the message of God. And after their death, their message continues to reach men's minds through their recorded sayings and writings. But this is not the only way in which God can speak to them. There is a language of the Spirit which is independent of speech or writing, by which God can commune with and inspire those whose hearts are seeking after truth, wherever they are and whatever their native race or tongue. By this language, the manifestation continues to hold converse with the faithful after his departure from the material world. Christ continued to converse with and inspire his disciples after his crucifixion. In fact, he influenced them more powerfully than before. With other prophets, it has been the same. Abdul Baha speaks much of this spiritual language. He says, for instance, we should speak in the language of heaven, in the language of the Spirit, for there is a language of the Spirit and heart. For there is a language of the Spirit and heart. It is as different from our language as our own language is different from that of the animals, who express themselves only by cries and sounds. It is the language of the Spirit, which speaks to God. It is the language of the Spirit, which speaks to God. When in prayer, we are freed from all outward things and turn to God. Then it is as if in our hearts we hear the voice of God. It is as if in our hearts we hear the voice of God. Without words we speak. We communicate. We converse with God and hear the answer. All of us, when we attain to a truly spiritual condition, can hear the voice of God. from a talk reported by Miss Ethel J. Rosenberg. Baha'u'llah declares that in the higher spiritual truths can be communicated only. I'm. I need to back up here. I just washed my tongue. I can't do anything with it. Baha'u'llah declares that the higher spiritual truths can be communicated only by means of this spiritual language. The spoken or written word is quite inadequate. In a little book called The Seven Valleys, in which he describes the journey of travelers from the earthly dwelling to the divine home, he says, in speaking of life, more advanced stages of the journey, the tongue is unable to give an account of these, and utterance falls exceedingly short. The pen is useless in this court, and the ink gives no result but blackness. Heart alone can communicate to heart the state of the knower. This is not the work of a messenger, nor can it be contained in letters. Heart alone can communicate to heart the state of the knower.
Heart alone can communicate to heart the state of the knower.
Yep. This is not the work of the messenger, nor can it be contained in letters.
I don't know, Daryl, have you ever had experiences where, you had very strong feelings, strong internal reactions, and yet couldn't seem to find the words to express? And yet whatever it was you were experiencing was no less real.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm just using my own words here, but it seems that what we're being told is, again, like you said, the tongue is unable to give an account of these, and utterance falls exceedingly short. The pen is useless. It cannot be verbally expressed. It can't be expressed in words. Heart alone can communicate to heart the state of the knower. This is not the work of a messenger, nor can it be contained in letters. And this is all still having to do with prayer.
Right.
And I see you're picking up your instrument there. Yes. I guess maybe I should pick mine up too.
It's time.
Now, I read that passage from the Hidden Words, and this song actually starts out with that passage. This is one of those songs we were talking about yesterday. Some songs that we have rather lengthy readings in, and I kind of think of them as musical sermons. This is one of those songs. Let me get, I'm all intertwined here in my chord here. Okay, there we go. Himself over the other. Ponder at all times in your hearts how you were created. Since we have created you all from one same substance, it is incumbent on you to be even as one soul, to walk with the same feet, eat with the same mouth, and dwell in the same land. That from your inmost being, by your deeds and actions, the signs of oneness and the essence of detachment may be made manifest. We are one.
We are one.
Family.
Family.
One mankind.
One mankind.
One humanity.
One humanity.
Walk with the same feet, eat with the same mouth, man who today dedicated himself to the service of the entire human race. The great being saith, "Blessed and happy is he that ariseth to promote the best interest of the peoples and kindreds of the earth." In another passage he hath proclaimed, "It is not for him to pride himself who loveth his own country, but rather for him who loveth the whole world." The earth is but one country, and mankind its citizens. We are one.
We are one
Family.
family,
One mankind.
one mankind,
One humanity.
one humanity.
Waves of one seed. Fruit of the same tree. Leaves of the same branch. If thou be of the inmates of this city within the ocean of divine unity, thou wilt view all the prophets and messengers of God as one soul and one body, as one light and one spirit, in such wise that the first among them would be last, and the last would be first. For they have all arisen to proclaim his cause, and have established the laws of divine wisdom. They are one and all, the manifestations of his self, the repositories of his might, the treasuries of his revelation, the dawning places of his splendor, and the day springs of his light. We are one.
We are one
Family.
family,
One mankind.
one mankind,
One humanity.
one humanity,
One God, God of all. One faith, faith in him. One race, all mankind. We are one family. 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 We haven't done that in a while.
that's true.
And my fingers tell me why we haven't why we haven't done that in a while. But yes, that's all from the writings of Baha'u'llah, from the Baha'i writings. Now you usually at this point that you say, why don't you go ahead and read?
Yes, that's exactly where I am.
Okay. if you say so. This next section we're beginning is called, it's not the chapter, it's just a section within chapter 5, and it's called the devotional attitude. The devotional attitude. In order that we may attain the spiritual condition in which conversation with God becomes possible, Abdu'l-Baha says, we must strive to attain to that condition by being separated from all things and from the people of the world, and by turning to God alone. It will take some effort on the part of man to attain to that condition, but he must work for it, strive for it. We can attain to it by thinking and caring less for material things and more for the spiritual. The further we go from the one, the nearer we are to the other.
I think you need to repeat that.
Okay. We can attain, well, it will take some effort on the part of man to, maybe I need to read the whole thing because it just is it. We must strive to attain to that condition, the spiritual condition, by being separated from all things and from the people of the world, and by turning to God alone. It will take some effort on the part of man to attain to that condition, but he must work for it, strive for it. We can attain to it by thinking and caring less for material things and more for the spiritual. The further we go from the one, the nearer we are to the other. The choice is ours. Abdu'l-Baha goes on to say, our spiritual perception, our inward sight must be opened so that we can see the signs and traces of God's Spirit in everything. Everything can reflect to us the light of the Spirit, and that's from a talk reported by Miss Ethel J. Rosenberg. Baha'u'llah has written, that seeker at the dawn of every day should commune with God and with all his soul persevere in the quest of his beloved. He should consume every wayward thought from the flame of his loving mention. And this is from...
With the flame.
Say that again?
He should consume every wayward thought with the flame.
Oh, my book says from the flame. You want to step outside, Daryl?
Not at all.
No, but this is one of those cases where apparently, the editions are a little different in the wording. But I thought we could go outside, maybe go to a nearby restaurant, have a cup of coffee together or something.
That sounds good.
Okay.
My book says from the flame also.
Oh, his book says from the flame. Okay. He should consume every wayward thought from the flame of his loving mention. And again, this is from Gleanings from the writings of Baha'u'llah. In the same way, Abdu'l-Baha declares, when man allows the Spirit through his soul to enlighten his understanding, then does he contain all creation. But on the other hand, when man does not open his mind and heart to the blessing of the Spirit, but turns his soul towards the material side, towards the bodily part of his nature, then he has fallen from his high place, and he becomes inferior to the inhabitants of the lower animal kingdom. Wow. When man does not open his mind and heart to the blessing of the Spirit, but turns his soul towards the material side, towards the bodily part of his nature, then is he fallen from his high place, and he becomes inferior to the inhabitants of the lower animal kingdom. Again, Baha'u'llah writes, deliver your souls, O people, not old people, O people. Deliver your souls, O people, from the bondage of self, and purify them from all attachment to anything besides me. Remembrance of me cleanseth all things from defilement, could ye but perceive it. Intone, O my servants, the verses of God that have been received by thee, that the sweetness of thy melody may kindle thine own soul and attract the hearts of all men. Whoso reciteth in the privacy of his chamber the verses revealed by God, the scattering angels of the Almighty shall scatter abroad the fragrance of the words uttered by his mouth. And this also is from Gleanings from the writings of Baha'u'llah. You think we should
That's a
stop
good
there?
stopping point.
Okay. Now, next week, we will be starting with necessity for a mediator. Why are the manifestations of God sent? Necessity for a mediator. So we'll start there. We'll
That's
start
an
there next week.
interesting section, I think.
Yeah. Well, I say yeah.
That'll spark some
I will admit I say
conversation.
yeah as if yeah I've read that. I mean, everything thus far has been interesting, and as I said when we first started on this journey with this book, I mean, this book is I recommend it again for anyone, any seeker, but I recommend it for Baha'is too,
Yes,
especially people like me who have done an awful lot of reading but had not yet read this book. It really gives you a deeper perspective
it's a refresher.
of what's involved in faith in general and in this particular revelation, the Baha'i faith. So at this time, as always, we like to, this is that time that we would have anyone who would like to offer up a prayer, reading, or song of your own choosing. This is that time. Let me put my guitar over here because Nini's not here, so got to do a few things. And I am pleased to say that because Andy Murphy is with us today, perhaps he will honor us with a musical number. Andy? Where did Andy go? Oh, there he is. Andy, you have something to share with us today?
Yes, indeed.
Oh, well then, please.
Say God sufficeth all things above all things, and nothing in the heavens or the earth but God sufficeth. Verily, He is in Himself the knower, the stainer, the omnipotent. Say God sufficeth all things above all things, and nothing in the heavens or the earth but God sufficeth. Verily, He is in Himself the knower, sustainer, the omnipotent.
Thank you so much, Andy. Thank you. Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to share?
Aloha and good morning.
Aloha,
Good
Terry.
morning.
Magnified be thy name, O Lord my God, inasmuch as thou hast inclined mine ear to thy voice, and called me to thyself, and opened mine eyes to gaze on thy beauty, and illumined my heart with the knowledge, and sanctified my breast from the doubts of the infidels in thy days. I am the one, O my God, who lay fast asleep on his couch, when lo, the messengers of thy manifold mercies were sent down upon me by thee, and the gentle winds of thy loving kindness blew over me, and roused me up, and caused me to set my face towards the sanctuary of thy knowledge, and to fix mine eyes upon the splendors of the light of thy face. I am but a poor creature, O my Lord. Behold me clinging to the hem of thy riches. I have fled from the darkness and from waywardness into the brightness of the light of thy countenance. Where I, and to this thy glory beareth me witness, to render thanksgiving unto thee through the whole through the whole continuance of thy kingdom and the duration of the heaven of thine omnipotence, I would still have failed to repay thy manifold bestowals. I implore thee, O my Lord, by thy name, the ever abiding, and by thy name which thou didst ordain to be the most great instrument binding thee to thy servants, to grant that I may flee for shelter to thy door and speak forth thy praise. Write down then for me in every world of thine that which will enable me to enter beneath thy shadow and within the borders of the court. Thou art verily the Almighty, the most bountiful, the most exalted, the ever forgiving, the most generous. And that was from Prayers and Meditations.
Thank you very much, Terry. Is there anyone else who would like to share?
I would.
Please.
O God, refresh and gladden my spirit, purify my heart, illumine my powers. I lay all my affairs in thy hand. Thou art my guide and my refuge. I will no longer be sorrowful and grieved. I will be a happy and joyful being. O God, I will no longer be full of anxiety, nor will I let trouble harass me. I will not dwell on the unpleasant things of life. O God, thou art more friend to me than I am to myself. I dedicate myself to thee, O Lord.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to share? Well, then with that, let me readjust our Facebook streaming camera here, also known as Tony's telephone. This is the one that is always a challenge.
So for those of you who think that we're just a couple of guys who who just on Sunday mornings decide they want to get up and talk about Baha'u'llah or talk about the faith, you should know that this is a collaborative effort. It is a result of the coming together of many communities, and we do this primarily through the auspices of the Clearwater Baha'i Center and their Zoom feed. And for anyone who would like to have more information about the faith or know more about the Baha'i faith, there are some definitive websites that you can visit to get more information. And because we firmly believe in the independent investigation of the truth. And those websites are www.baha'i.us, www.baha'i.org, www.bahaiteachings.org, and if you happen to be in the Tampa Bay area, you can go to the Clearwater Baha'i website at www.clearwaterbaha'is.org.
I just want to take a moment and say good morning to Sue Akavan and Margot and Rose. Since I'm close enough to be able to read their names on screen, I just wanted to do that. Thank you for joining us this morning. Yes, so again, it's always, we've been doing this a long time now, Daryl.
We have
We have been.
years now.
Yeah. We started at the top of the COVID lockdown. The thing is, we had been doing, devotions locally at the Clearwater Center, and then, COVID happened, and so we started doing this online. And even though things have obviously opened up and have been opened up for quite some time, I'll admit I like being able to, reach people that are not local.
Right.
So I'd like to say thanks to everyone that joins us. Whether you join us at the time that we do this or stream it later on, we appreciate your support and we certainly do appreciate your prayers.
From wherever you are.
Yes. So I don't know, you got anything else you want to say, Daryl?
Of course. Don't I always? What I have to tell you is that if you are loved, you are truly blessed. If you share the love, then everything you touch and everyone you know is also blessed. Sharing the love is a very simple, easy thing. Doesn't cost you anything. And if you do it, I guarantee you, the world you live in will be much improved. One request, simple, easy, smart. Share the love.
Have a good one, folks. O people of justice, be as brilliant as the light, and as splendid as the fire that blazed in the burning bush. The brightness of the fire of your love will no doubt fuse and unify the contending peoples and kindreds of the earth, whilst the fierceness of the flame of enmity and hatred cannot but result in strife and ruin. We beseech God that he may shield his creatures from the evil designs of his enemies. He verily hath power over all things. Let your vision be world embracing. Let your vision be world embracing. Let your vision be world embracing. Watch over yourselves, for the evil one is lying in wait, ready to entrap you. Gird yourselves against his wicked devices, and led by the light of the name of the all-seeing God, make your escape from the darkness that surroundeth you. Let your vision be world-embracing, rather than confined to your own self. These are the words of Baha'u'llah. Be world embracing. Let your vision be world embracing. Let your vision be world embracing. I did not say hello to Gilbert. Hello, Gilbert. He's in the Zoom.
Good
Hope
morning,
everyone,
Gilbert.
and yes, and there's
Hello.
another program following this week, forgot to say it, that's coming through to, again, through clearwaterbaha'is.org. Please support that program as well. Thanks again. Have yourselves a good week, and we'll see you next week, hopefully.
Allahu
Happy
Akbar.
Nowruz. Yeah, Allah Akbar. It's not Nowruz yet. We'll tell you what that means next week. But happy Nowruz. We won't see you till next week. So happy Nowruz. Early happy Nowruz.
Thank you, Tony and Daryl.
Alrighty. Take care.
Aloha, Pa. Have a great day.
Aloha,
Aloha.
you too.